Go ahead.
All right, this is the start of the June 10th, 2021 ARB meeting, Sag Harbor. If we can start with the Pledge of Allegiance, that would be great. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great, thank you. I make a motion to approve the minutes of May 27th, 2021. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so it's myself and Judith. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. 4 Horizon Drive, please. Application for a proposed deck.
This is your
Oh, yeah, that's
two-person committee.
Yeah.
All
So
right, so I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda matters.
Right.
Is there a
Can we-
second?
before we go forward, can we just say what they are? So who's ever
Usually,
listening?
no, that defeats the whole purpose of the consent agenda.
Okey doke.
Is there a second?
Who
I'll
made the
second.
motion?
I did.
I'll second.
Bethany, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, old business. 14 Vitale Silly Avenue, please.
I do not see Brian on yet.
Okay. The second
Let me,
call that.
You want a second call? Go ahead.
Yep, second call. 11 Ackerley Street, please.
Michael or Tom, you on?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
State your name for the record, please, and tell
Sure,
us
this
about your
is-
project.
Sure, this is Tom Amico, and I'm one of the owners of 11 Ackerley. We've been attending these meetings for a few weeks now, trying to get the addition and renovation to the house at 11 Ackerley approved. We've made, as you may recall, significant revisions to it, and I believe that there was a, that's nice, but I don't think that's mine.
It's not.
That looks nice though.
Wow.
That's a lot of changes. There was a site visit last week on Thursday. I think the discussion was about windows. Unfortunately, I could not be there. And we submitted a window schedule, which I think is what that was.
Jack?
Let's see, am I seeing the windows, the actual schedule of windows there?
Can we go through these elevations and just point to us which windows are staying, which are removed for the record?
Sure, so let's start in the front. So if we go to the proposed south elevation, which on this slide is the lower right-hand corner. Those 4 windows are staying. They'll be refurbished and staying. And the door also will be refurbished and staying. If I guess we can go to the left to the north elevation. These are all new, actually. These 3, the one at the top is part of the dormer, so that doesn't exist at all at this time. The one in the back, the sliding or the door here, oh, I'm sorry, that's actually Carrie's cursor, is a new door that is moved from where it currently is now. And then the one to the side, to the left side, is also a new window.
Okay. Any comments from the board?
And I will say
Are
the
those
north elevation
windows-
is the back.
A lot of the windows in the back are new, and the French door is a new door relative to the rest of the house.
Correct.
Okay, so let's go to a side, please.
Okay, let's pick a side. Proposed east. Okay. So for retaining, actually I think it's the one that's at the top where the peak is. That's the window will be refurbished. And then the others are actually new. And then
So
if we,
the top one by the peak there, I saw that. That's there. And then that one on the, not the first one on the first floor, but the second one, that one is there as well. So what's the story with that one? Yes.
I don't think that one's there on that side. I think it's on the other side.
Yeah, I saw it today.
Hold on one second. Just,
That's a new window, Tom.
that is a new window, I thought.
Yes.
That's the one where, I guess you were over there recently. That's the one that's covered in trash bags. It's a double window that's covered in trash bags currently, because it's basically disintegrated. So if you, I see what.
So if I was there today and I remember I saw the trash bag and I saw that window there, if we go over there tomorrow and that window is there, can that remain?
Yes, but I mean, yeah, I mean, but it's, the window's destroyed, but that's why it's covered with trash bags.
Yeah, no, there's that one, and then that one to the left of it of the trash bags, there's a window that sits there. Now,
That's the one that's going to be in the stairs now.
Oh, okay, so thanks, Vic. So that's the one, so if you look at the existing east elevation, I believe, so you're talking about the window that's below the one at the peak. Is that correct?
yeah, it's a little to the left, a little to the right of that. It's not directly under that window.
Okay.
Okay, it's in the stairway. So board members, do you have a problem with this new window, the proposed east elevation, the window in discussion right now? Is there a problem with replacing that window? Judith?
I think it's okay. I do know it has to do with the staircase and that Zach was concerned about the front door, thinking that the front door should be further to the right. And I think that relates to the window, the door and that window relate to the,
It's the second one in. It's like in the middle of the old part, if we're looking at that proposed elevation. And
The
this
two
is
over-
looking, yeah, the
the
2 over 2.
over
It's
two. Oh, no, that's fine.
okay. Bethany?
I'm good if it's, it's been covered with trash bag because it's disintegrated so much. I'm fine with it being
But
replaced.
that's their window there. It's like the one that's at the peak.
The other side, right?
Yeah. No, on the same side. So the question is, are you okay with them because of their interior plan,
Oh.
removing that existing window?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, so let's go to the west
Okay.
elevation.
So in the west elevation, let me just, Victor, I heard you. So I know that if you
Yes.
can help me on this one, Victor. So the one at the top at the peak, again, is going to be refurbished.
No, the one at the top is going to be replaced with an egress window because that's right in the new bedroom or the old bedroom, but it's, it's going to be enlarged, but that one's being replaced with an egress window. The three larger ones on the bottom are all the ones that are going to be refurbished.
Okay.
The one up in the peak will be, it'll look similar, but we need a little bigger window to meet the code up there.
Thank you, Victor.
Now, as far as the front door is concerned, the front door, we have measurements of that front door. So on the plans, we're talking about this front door is going to be put back exactly where it is or
Yes,
where
that-
it was.
Yes, that's the
Exactly.
location. They were all a little bit off. You can see the upper windows and the front
Yep.
door. It's kind of odd, but that's where they were.
You can see where the landing is and where the fence posts are flanking the walk to the front door. So it's pretty evident to see. So the bottom line is the front door stays exactly where it was.
Yes.
Great. So any comments from the board regarding these elevations and the changes?
The one question I have is about the south elevation, the front, and the little window that I believe is a bathroom from the bump out. Is that, I mean, because we only said before, he only said 4 windows would be refurbished. But this little window, is this something new, this little window?
Yes, that's a new window.
There's no window there now.
There is a window there.
There is a small window there now. It's it's not new, but it's not as old as the windows in the front of the house.
Right.
Yeah, it was replaced at some point in time.
And again,
used to
it's
be-
recessed quite back.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't see any, you see the property. I mean, it's totally
Right.
engulfed in the
Yeah, that
landscaping.
big, there's a big tree there in the corner. Okay.
Okay, so can you continue, please?
Okay, so if you go to, we're talking about the west elevation, I believe, correct?
Mhm.
Yep.
The window, so Victor's actually the architect on the project. The 3 windows at the bottom towards the right side of the property, those are being refurbished. The next window to the left, which is the last window, is a new window, correct?
Yes, that's a little newer window, and that's where the new kitchen's going. So that's why we put a little, I was planning on putting like a casement window there that we could put some grill work to make it, maybe match the other ones a little bit, but that's going to be over the sink in the kitchen.
So that window in reality is a new window compared to the rest of the structure.
Yes,
Structured windows there. So,
that's also a newer type window. It looks like it was an Anderson window.
Yep,
possibly.
So it's replacing
a new window.
a new window. Okay.
But it's a different shape.
Yes,
Because
because
And you're,
to account for the countertop in the kitchen.
okay. And you're removing a door?
Yes, that corner is getting filled in. That
Mhm.
door is actually recessed. There's like a covered porch there, and that covered porch will be enclosed.
Okay, can we go to the next page? For discussion.
Just
And then what's happening with the site plan? Are we moving is that cedar tree going to remain on the corner?
On the right corner, there are 2 cedar trees, there's one on the left and
The
one on the right.
south, that big one on this, I guess that would be the southeast corner.
So we had not put in to take that down. The problem is we've discovered that's on top of the gas line and right on the house, basically. So we already had a problem with the gas line. It had to be replaced. There was a gas leak. We didn't put in to take it down. I mean, to be honest, we probably would like to. We definitely would like to limit up to get it off of the house.
Can we look at a site plan and can you just run us through the whole site plan?
Sorry about this.
And the windows that are going to be, that are new are Anderson, or what are they? What kind of windows?
There's a schedule there.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you just run through the schedule for us? They're Andersons.
Yes, they're
Victor.
Anderson windows.
Yeah, Victor, could you run through that? Because you would know better than I, the technicality of it.
As far as,
Just what they are.
well, it's on the schedule there. I don't
Yeah,
know.
where is the, can we see that list?
It's on the floor plan. It's got a list of each window, and
Okay.
So are they
Which ones?
divided lights? Are they simulated divided lights? What kind of windows are they?
there were going to be simulated divider lights
Mhm.
with the grill work. They have it, they have it so you can put it on the outside and inside of the window.
Right.
Yeah. So it looks real, but it's not a real divided light.
And these windows are situated on the property where they're basically behind vegetation and hidden
Yes,
from
you can.
in the way in the back.
Yeah, from the sides, and you can't see anything.
Can we see the site plan, please? Can you just run us through your site plan?
Yes, I am.
Are you going to bring it up or do you want?
I'm trying.
Okay.
Again, these are my limitations on the computer. I apologize for. Site plan.
All right.
We'll do this. I'll have to get back to this share screen. I apologize. Okay, so share screen.
Pretty much is remaining as is, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, it is. But I just want to pull it up so they can see it. But the thing we were talking about, Vic, is in the. Oh, can you all see that? Did I do that properly? Or probably not.
No.
Mm-mm.
Of course not. What's that? Did I do it?
There it
There
is.
you go.
Oh, okay. Thank you. New skills. So if you look, Vic, what we're talking about, the top right corner, this existing conifer, as I just mentioned, it's actually growing onto the house, and it's also growing on top of the gas line. We didn't put it, we were going to leave it, but we didn't put it to take it down. I think to renovate the house, we'd have to at least limit up, and we'd like the board to at least consider us taking it down. We didn't really submit a detailed landscaping because we kind of got off track with asking for too much in the beginning on the building itself. But it's a very
Okay,
small lot.
So let's separate that out because I have a lot of questions about the gravel driveway and the walkways and all that good stuff. So why don't we revisit that? And
That would be great.
let's ask the board, any other comments or questions for the architect and the applicant from the board? Bethany,
No, I'm,
Judith?
So the simulated divided lights are hidden from the view of passersby.
One's in the kitchen and
Vegetation.
all the way on the west side in the back.
Okay, then that's okay with me.
Bob,
Is that door stained? The front door on that prop?
The front door, yes. So we'd be in the same place and it'll be refurbished.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
okay, great. Okay, so is there a motion to approve 11 Ackerley as submitted, just the architecture only?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you very much. So that was Judith and Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you
And
very much.
Dean, Brian DeSessa's here, so you want to do 14 Vitale.
Great. Okay, 14, Vitale, please.
Good afternoon, members of the board. My apologies, my calendar still went for 5. So I'm Brian DeSessa, attorney for the applicant. We're back here for 14 Vitale Silly. We were here last meeting where the board approved the house. We had some specifics with respect to landscaping we were looking for. So if I could screen share, I'd like to bring some of those up now.
Go ahead.
Thank you. What you're seeing on your board is on the computer screen right now is the materials designed by Ed Hollander and team. We have a rendering of what the edge of the pool and pool fencing would look like facing toward the water. This is not on the site, but a comparable site which matches the drawings of a similar installation that Mr. Hollander did. This stone, these are the Madras gray sandstone pavers or similar, which is what the decking and stairs would be up as indicated on the site plan, which I'll pull up after we go through the materials. The vertical walls, because of this property being in a flood zone, we're using them both to elevate the property and as retainage, would be constructed as depicted here with plantings in front of them, both on the street side and on the water side to add context and depth. And the driveway for the road would be pea gravel to match the existing conditions that would be prevalent on 10 Vitale Silly, which is currently under construction. And let me go back to the site plan. Hold on. One moment, sorry. We're back on the site plan. So this is that pool, this is that wall where they would have fencing and deck area. These would be the walls. This would be the sandstone, the gray madras stones, which would be stepping stones and stairs, which would complement the house. They did add some spot elevations that the terrace, the pool, top of wall would all be at elevation 10. And I'm happy to answer any other questions that the board may have.
Did I see a lighting plan on this one?
I'm sorry, I don't believe, no lighting plan for the house. Is that what we're light? Is that
Landscape.
landscape lighting? Let me just see. Yes,
So I mean, honestly,
the lighting notes were on this schedule that you had before that I have up on the screen now.
yeah, someone really should walk us through these the lighting. I like to separate the lighting plan and have a landscape representative just to walk us through the light plan on this thing, if you don't mind.
That's fine. Could we move forward on the landscape approval? And I would have someone from Mr. Hollander's office here for the landscape lighting specifically.
That'd be great. And that's,
Yeah.
how, everything. We would like to know what the neighbors are got, the impact of this light. I'm sure it's wonderful, but this is coming up a lot now. And it's very important that in these public hearings, that everyone knows what's going on. And
I would
explain it in
be
detail.
happy to make Mr. Hollander or someone from his team available to walk through the lighting plan.
So, board members, I asked for some of these things, in particular, the grading plan, the heights of the wall, details of the wall. We have some retaining wall details and things of that nature. I think the planting it's beautiful. It's we got a lot of indigenous things happening, and I think it's spectacular, really. So, any comments from the board regarding the landscaping?
I think the light landscaping, they did a terrific job.
Bethany,
I would agree.
Judith,
If you like it, I like it.
it's you can't go wrong with a lot of native plant material. It's
Yeah,
sort
I
of like
love
the
that.
sense of place. So yes, Mr. DeSesta, if we could just follow up with the lighting and just educate the public and us and what's going on with the light intrusion on this site, that would be just
Yeah, I can have them do that. I do have the lighting plan, but they would know about light protrusion a little more. So I'm happy to have them at the next meeting.
yeah, because we might say, okay, design person, this one, or or
Sure. So are we able to move forward on the landscaping and then I'll separate out the lighting to have them at the next meeting on the lighting?
Sure.
That'd be great.
I make a motion to approve the landscape plans excluding the landscape lighting sheet from 14 Vitale Silly Avenue. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Great, thank you. So that was myself and Bethany.
And for
Great,
the
thank you
record, the
very much.
next meeting is June 24th.
Very good. I will make sure at 4 p.m., correct?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Have a good night, everybody.
There you go,
Thank you.
Bethany.
Right, yeah.
Okay, did you say something, Carrie?
No, I just said thank you, Bethany.
Okay, great. 14 Rogers Street, please.
Yes, good evening, members of the board. Alex Stone here with my wife, Kate, owners of 14 Rogers Street. Carrie, can I share screen, please?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Is Rick here too?
I believe he is. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so to remind the board of the house we're talking about, it's this one here on Rogers Street. Last meeting, we spent a bunch of time talking about how I had gone with the board's recommendations to leave the front door in the position that it is currently and the windows and the entire front of the house as it is currently. We also agreed to do the foundation in brick as per Mr. Studenroth's suggestion. It sounded like the board was feeling pretty good about it, and then there was one request to see exactly how the brick foundation was going to be done. So my project manager and architect came up with this, the foundation details that you can see here, showing that the brick will not protrude beyond the siding, but will indeed lay underneath it so as to look historically accurate.
Real bricks, and it's that's fabulous. Thank you so much. So,
Sure.
just for the record, just quickly run through your project for everyone here.
Sure. Yep. The front of the house, everything you can see from the street is going to remain as it looks here. We did get approval from the ZBA to lift the house 24 inches, and we're going to be enclosing the porches that are on the side and back of the house. You can't really see much back there. As you can see, this is really the only angle from the street where you can see even just a sliver of those back porches. I did a really poor photoshopping job here of showing, though, where our hedge is going to go at the back of the parking court. Our parking court will have a hedge and a little gate like that eventually. So you won't really see much in the back. So pretty much everything in the front is going to look exactly as it does now. In terms of elevations of, this is the north exposure here, and I did want to talk about that for a second. These were the elevations that we had been looking at on the last meeting. We had removed the transoms on the lower level due to suggestions from the board. When we moved the door back into the position that it is currently, that caused some floor plan changes that we ended up thinking through, my wife and I. So I did want to talk about one small revision to this north elevation. This is the old one that you had seen previously, and this is the new one. In the new one, the bump out, this shingle bump out is remaining exactly as it is currently. In the previous one, it had been extending slightly into where the porches were. That's the only change that we're requesting.
Okay,
Great,
that's good.
even better.
Yeah.
Mr. Stone, we lost you.
Hello.
Yes, we hear you now.
Hear you.
Sorry
There he
about
is.
that.
There you go.
Sorry about that. My internet cuts out here. So yeah, that's it from me, I think.
Okay, so and then you on here it said something about the pool and the site plan. Can you just run through that for us?
Oop, cutting out. Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Can
Are we
we
just
see
talking
the,
about the architecture today, or are we talking about the pool and the site plan?
Oh no.
Driveway.
Sorry, I may have cut out there again. Apologies. Can you hear me now?
We can.
yes,
Okay, I heard the beginning of the question about the site plan.
Are we discussing the pool and the landscaping and the site plan today?
Not at this meeting. We're going to come prepared to talk about that at the next one.
Okay, great. So do I have a motion to approve 14 Rogers Street for the architecture only as submitted?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that
second.
motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So
Aye.
that was Bethany, was that Bethany?
Yes,
Bethany and Mr. Adams. Great,
Thank you, board.
thank
Have a
you.
great evening.
Great,
Bye-bye.
made some progress. 15 Long Island Avenue, please.
Thank
15 Long Island Ave. The new. Second call,
Hello?
everyone? Yes.
It's Kevin Going from Going Sign.
Is this from Dime for
For
Dime
Dime.
Bank?
Yes.
Okay, great. So please state your name and tell us about your sign.
This is Kevin Going from Going Sign Company representing Dime Bank. We're looking to put letters on the front and back of the drive-up facility. At our last meeting, we showed it on a blue background. The board asked us to come back with it on a white background and shrink the letters slightly. So we shrunk the height of the letters. We got rid of the blue background. So that is where we're at right now.
Judith?
Well, they've done what we asked. And I guess the chartreuse triangle has to be part of it, right? Because
That
it's
is part of their
your
logo, yes.
brand.
That's
Mhm.
part of the logo.
Yeah. So I think it's okay.
Bob?
They've done exactly what we asked them last meeting.
Bethany?
I would agree. I think they shrunk it down and took away the other color. It's good.
The white makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So what about this sign at the street? Are we discussing about anything regarding that today?
You know, you should have that in there also. It's in this package if you continue along. There, so that's, go back,
There it goes.
go
That
back a
was
little
it a
bit,
minute ago.
right there. So
There you go. So it's going to be this, but it's the exact same size, correct?
same size. We're not changing the size at all.
Is there a motion to approve 15 Long Island Avenue as submitted tonight?
I approve 15 Long Island Avenue as submitted tonight.
I need a second. I'll second that. So that's Bob and myself, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Okay, 11 Carver Street, please. (11 Carver?
Yes,
Great. State your name for the record. Tell us about your project. (11 Carver.
Mark, are you
can you
there?
hear me?
Hi, Mark.
Hi, sorry about that. Yes, we're adding a pool and pool house garage on the back to 11 Carver. This is our third time here. The last time we were there, here, you had asked for our architect to add the exact plantings and how we were going to address the runoff on the plan. I believe that we provided that.
So you're Mark Madden, right?
I am.
Okay, can you bring up the plan that we asked for?
I'm bringing it up right now.
Thank you.
There you go. Do you see it?
Yeah, can you zoom in so we can see what's going on?
I would love to. There you go.
Thanks, Carrie.
You're welcome.
So if you can just enlighten us and explain, we were asking about, is there a plant schedule?
Yeah, it's provided. Everything, all the perimeters are already in place. All the perimeter plants are already in place.
It was along the garage. We asked for you to call out what
Right
those
here.
plants.
Right here.
I
We
see
were-
green. I see green.
I know, and then we put, somewhere he put in, we were going to put in 4-foot boxwoods. There's
Yeah, they're on the
15 on each
bottom.
side.
Yeah, right here. It's
proposed.
planting legend.
Existing,
here and
existing,
here.
and then proposed
Fine.
4-inch boxwood.
And then the grading with all the water going into the pool, is there, did you, someone take that on and put something in the,
Right here, I believe he put, and I'm sorry because I'm pinch hitting for my architect, but he put in something right here, I believe. Carrie, is that what we did?
Yeah, if
To put in
you,
for a drain? To
here,
catch
I'll
the run,
try
to catch the runoff.
I'm trying to zoom in for you to see it.
Sorry.
If you see right here, here's. I
Oh,
believe
yeah, it
it's-
says new dry well.
Yeah,
Yeah, correct.
right there.
Okay, so I'll make a comment that, well, building inspector will do this anyway. We'll make sure that, these takeoffs all correspond with what's required to make this grading work.
Could you speak up? I'm sorry.
I will make, a comment on the application that the building inspector will review your calculations.
Okay, perfect.
Completeness. Okay,
Thank
is
you.
there a motion to approve 11 Carver Street as submitted? I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's myself and Judith with the comment that the grading will be reviewed and the drainage by the building inspector.
Can I just ask a quick question of, have we've seen the cabana?
Yes, attached to the back of the garage.
Yes, you
It's
have.
the same building.
It was the landscape and they had the water going
I
into the
got you.
pool,
All right, I'm reading what's listed here and,
and then they
Okay.
didn't call out the plantings to
Very
hide the
good.
grade because it's kind of a sawtooth kind of detail between the
yes,
foundation and
yes.
the shingles.
Okey dokey.
Great, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
folks.
Thank you.
Good night, Mark.
Good night.
6 Hampton Street. '46 Hampton Street. So Elizabeth,
I do not see her.
Yes.
okay, so this is a beautiful old house, has a lot of detailing like our, the wharf shop in town. So if we could probably draft up a resolution between you and Zach on how to repair
Okay,
the woodworking on that, and then we could probably vote on that next week.
sure.
Okay,
So
so I'll
you
make a
make a mo-
motion to table 46 Hampton Street, and I will double back with Zach and Elizabeth. Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? And myself and Bob. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So 15 Howard Street. Again, Zach is not here, but I went there today and it looks like there was an addition. This is a historic house with the back. There's been a lot of work. There are a lot of double insulated windows back there where they want to enclose this porch. So I see this as a no-brainer, but if we can run through, if the applicant can state their name for the record and run through what they want to do, I don't think we have a problem with interfering with any historic work here.
Yeah, I'm Craig Rhodes.
I'm his wife.
And my wife.
Ellen, this is Ellen.
Yeah. We've lived in the house since 1993, and we've put a couple of additions on it and gone through all the approvals and all that. And we have this deck, and we have always wanted to have be able to sit out there in the summer evenings, and we love the idea of a screen porch. So it really seemed to be a logical addition to the back of the house. It's really completely. If you've been to the property, realize that there's really no. You can't see it from any place else, any other property. It's pretty much pretty secluded back there. And it's just it's a modest size porch, and we would love to be able to do it.
I did trespass today. I thought it was quite beautiful back there.
Thanks.
Any comments from the board, Bethany?
I think that it's, very appropriate and I'm good with it.
Bob,
I think it's a great idea.
Judith,
I think it's wonderful.
is there a motion to approve 15 Howard Street as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? I'll make
I'll
that second. That's Judith and myself. All in
Thank
favor?
you.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Slow down.
Thank
Carrie.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Night.
Thank
Come and
you.
enjoy
Good
it
night.
sometime.
Yeah.
Ah.
Bye.
155 Main Street, please.
Ryland's here.
Hi, Ryland Hilbert,
Just
the
turn it off. Okay.
new occupant of 155 Main Street.
Gary.
Did we lose our applicant?
No, I'm still here.
There you are.
Okay, tell us what you're proposing, please.
Proposing 3 new, well, replacing former signage of Corcoran, and I'm going to be putting 3 signs in. If you scroll up, there was, I think, formerly much more, but so there was a larger sign that's where the current, that's pin lettering. It's going to be metal pin lettering with my logo. There was an awning that was to the left of the building that was taken down by the landlord. There used to be a Corcoran logo there. So for the front, I'm going to be putting the pin lettering in the metal. And then additionally, there is a lawn sign, which if we scroll down, I want to replace with a smaller version of my sign.
So I did see a graphic with the your logo to the left as well, right? Over where Corcoran had another sign above
Yes,
those.
I was, my former spec was just replacing the previous signage, but I don't think it's a little redundant. So I would just forego having that there. There was a Corcoran sign there on a previous awning, but I just don't think it's necessary.
So with this metal
and-
pin lettering, is there any lighting or anything that's happening behind these? The
There's no
letters?
lightering. There is a previous light that's in the lawn. If you scroll down, there's a little like lamp that was in the lawn there. It's very old. It's been there, I guess, for a long time. And there is a light that was previously on the Corcoran sign that's in the lawn.
Okay, so we're just talking about proposed stuff at the moment. Okay, so there's this one, and where the sign that is in the lawn, proposed to be in the lawn. Can we see that?
It's just down a little bit more. Or is it in a different file, Carrie?
Yeah, let me grab it.
Okay. That was on one thread.
What is a life equipment? Get a free commercial here.
We prepare men for everything that life throws at them. It's our little slogan.
Got it.
So the lawn one, it's still actually there, the Corcoran side. I guess the landlord just took down the letters. It was much bigger. It was like, I have to measure, I think it was like 6 feet by like 3 or 4 feet. We're gonna reduce it to 3 feet by 3 feet a square, which actually my current store in the background of the photo, once it's get pulled up, you can see it's the same spec as that one. It's like 36 by 36.
Rylan, I'm trying to pull it up, and it's when you sent it to me back in the beginning of May, it's expired.
Here, I'm just gonna
you have it?
re-forward. I'm just gonna re-forward it to you. I don't know if I could share it.
Okay.
On my iPad. I'm sorry. I'm on my iPad, and
Oh, okay.
so
Yeah,
I
if you can
apologize. I
just
just
resend it to
re-forwarded
me.
you the thing. Someone I sent yesterday.
Hold on. Oh, there we go. Found it.
You got it. Okay.
There you go.
Judith.
Well,
It's smaller than the last one.
it's smaller than the last one. All right.
Half
It's
the size.
smaller than the.
Yeah, it's half the size of the Corcoran one.
Right. Yeah, I see.
Okay.
To look under the driver's seat.
I guess since it's smaller, that it's better than it's bigger.
Watch whoever is on. Who's ever on unmuted, please mute yourself.
The other one's nicer because
It's nicer, it's bigger, yeah.
The Jakes, maybe? Jakes van.
Why would
Hold
I
on.
put that underneath my seat?
No.
Fuck,
Can't make it up.
really?
I'll let you know that's not my background noise, just for the record.
All right, hold on, guys. I'm just gonna mute everybody and then unmute you. We have somebody that has potty mouth.
It's, there's no little red microphone under Jake's Van Deer. And then Karen Lockwood.
Bob Adams, do you have comments regarding this, the sign and the
I
other
have-
sign and the other sign?
I think it's a lot smaller. I would
Right.
go along with it, Joe.
And the one on the building's a lot better than what was previously there, I think.
Yes.
I think it's elegant. Bethany?
It's the one on the building still looks kind of large to me. I don't know if they
That
would
was
be
my
red.
first impression.
Just because
too.
it's it's a historic building, and it almost looks like those letters are on the building and not on
They
the
are.
sign. Is
No,
that
they
how
are on
it's
the building.
made?
Yeah, it's pin
They are
lettering.
on the building, yeah. See,
So it's-
I honestly, I would feel more comfortable if they were on, maybe just a little smaller and on a sign. That's my
So
feeling.
previously, Corcoran had a very large vinyl sign that was about 4 feet by 7 feet. And it was, to be quite frank, like very large.
Mhm.
These letters are 14 inches tall, and then the width will be about 70 inches, which is, what is that? So I mean, we can go down to 12. I did both 12 and 14. But so the 14 is like about 2 to 3 of those little planks there. And it's much more discreet than say a large vinyl, in my opinion, to be honest. So
I'm ready to go.
sorry, was I mute that entire time? Hello?
Hold on 1 minute. I'm so sorry. I had to mute everybody because of the
Background noise.
background news. I'm so sorry.
Judith, what camp are you in? The smaller of the Judith, we lost you.
She's probably, she
Here we
has to
go.
be unmuted. You have to unmute Judith. Oh, you can't hear me. Maybe.
Hold on.
There we go. Am I
Judith, 12 or 14, what camp are you in? On the big
12?
sign. Bob, 12 or
I'll go
14?
for 12. 12.
We know where Bethany is. Okay, who's gonna make the motion for the 12-inch sign change on the building?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. That's Bethany and myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryland.
Thank you. Just there was the third page, the small little guy on the other side of the building, on the Madison Street side. That was there too, Carrie.
Yeah. I think we're good.
Okay, and then the 36 by 36 square, that's good too. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. 14 Hamilton Street, please. Is there any sign of Zach out there?
No, Val is here.
Great.
Hi,
Okay,
Val.
so I stopped by Hamilton today, and the shingles are rather new, and the roof is asphalt. So with that, can you tell us about your project if you're the presenter? 14 Hamilton, please.
I see here.
Okay, we'll second call that. New business, 37 Glover Street, please.
Brian Lacasio.
Good evening, members of the board. Brian Lacasio with the Adam Miller Group. I'm here on behalf of 37 Glover Street LLC, the owner of the property at 37 Glover Street. The property is 0.816 acres, and it's currently improved with approximately 900 square foot house and the remains of a shed. A site visit was done back on October 4th of 2019 with Zach and some members of the board. Zach issued a memo following that visit, October 8th of 2019, stating that the cottage had no
contributing structures and no longer retains any distinctive architectural characteristics from the 1920 to 1935 period. We then received approval from this board to demolish the existing structure and shed remains on an approval dated January 19th of 2021. And we are currently seeking approval from this board for proposed single-family dwelling, proposed swimming pool, pool house, garage, dry wells, landscaping, and an IA septic system. We have received ZBA approval on October 20th of 2020 for the accessory structures, which are the pool, pool house, outdoor shower, and terrace with pergola, as they are located in the technical front yard of Upper Sag Harbor Cove. The Harbor Committee approval was received at the May 6th meeting, and we are providing a 50-foot non-fertilization, non-disturbance vegetative buffer and a 25-foot non-fertilization area, and all structures meet the necessary setbacks. The proposed renderings were presented to this board back in July of 2020 as a discussion item, and at that time they were well received. We are now back here for approval. What is being proposed is well under the building coverage, as we are proposing 13.45% and permitted 20% lot coverage. Building coverage, my apologies, and the proposed lot coverage of 19.93, which is below the permitted 25% lot coverage. And I can share my screen and walk you through.
Is there someone here to represent the site plan?
Yes, we have an architect, Bill Beaton, and I believe someone here is Michael Derrick, or someone from his team from Landscape Details as well. All right, what am I showing?
What is the square footage of the main structure, please?
Yep, you can see my screen, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So the property has proposed cedar shingles, proposed cedar shingled roof. It will be an aged Alaskan cedar. We have a cedar lap siding on the upper gables, and they will be painted Benjamin Moore Simply White. The windows and window shutters, we painted a Benjamin Moore Anchor Gray. We are proposing a Dutch door, which will be painted also the Benjamin Moore Anchor Gray. I have colors, which I'll show you as you order
Can
through.
you just please elaborate on the square footage of this structure?
It's approximately 4,600 square feet. The proposed single-family dwelling. We have a brick chimney. There's copper roofing proposed over the window well on the south elevation, on the center windows, first floor, on the bottom elevation. All windows are Marvin windows. We provided a detailed window schedule. There's a cedar mahogany deck proposed over the covered porch with wood railings. There's a stone-clad ballast stone concrete foundation. Also proposed pool house, outdoor shower, and garage contain this stone, ballast stone. And I have some images of that. So this is the pool house and shower. You can see the stone and then the cedar shingles, cedar roof. The stone for the shower structure. And this is the garage. It has a part stone. Part
We're
cedar.
still looking, Brian, we're still looking at A201. Is that where you are?
That is not what I'm showing you, but I can look at that. That's where you are.
And that's what we see. The east elevation and the north elevation.
As I scroll through, you don't see.
We just see what I
Hold
just,
on. All right, bear with me.
sure.
You come in. Hold on, let me just try this again here.
Sometimes it gets frozen.
Are you looking at A202 now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, all right, so you've only seen really the front elevations. So the door on the rear, this is the second story deck. This is the copper roofing, the stone foundation. And then here is the pool house outdoor shower, which contain the stones, cedar siding. And then the garage, which is part stone, part cedar. And this is kind of give you an image of what it would look like. Garage door. This will be the color of the cedar shingles. This is the simply white for the proposed trim and cedar lap siding. This is the anchor gray, which we're proposing for the shutters and the front Dutch door. And this is the horizon, which will be for the window sashes. Again, just another idea of what it will look like. And here's a 3D model to give you an idea of how it would look overall. The house, garage, pool house. Again, from the street. This would be from the north view.
And do you have any information regarding houses of a similar square footage in the area?
I do not on hand, but I can certainly get that.
And there are several quite large houses on Glover Street.
Yeah, I
Would that
don't
be-
think this is by any means out of context. It's on Glover. It's
We'd like, that's going to have to be fleshed out on like a street plan showing some comparable sizes.
I was making notes.
Now, do you have some quick detail sheets to run through for us? And then I'll just get some general comments.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to turn to landscape? Or you want detail sheets for the?
Yeah, for the structure.
Okay. So I have a window schedule, all Marvin windows. I don't know if you can see or.
Do you have like window details and like the soffit details, eave detail, chimney detail, something? So we'll just start with the magnitude of this structure.
So
and
we do have, we provided a full building department plan set. I can pull that up.
At the end of the day, we're gonna have to go, if we vote tonight, we're voting to go to a public hearing, correct?
Correct.
So, this would be great to get some of that context from from those drawings and discuss it with the board members, but just from what we were looking at now, we can get a good sense of how the board is feeling towards the massing of this structure.
We have Bill Beaton, the architect here. He might be able to answer a lot of those questions directly. If you do want to direct some questions, to flush some of that out now. I believe he is here and was prepared to assist in the presentation tonight.
Great. Judith, how do you feel about just on the whole, the general direction of the style of architecture here and the size of the massing?
As far as the style goes, I think it's fine, but I do have some problems with the size and the massing. I know there's some very large houses down at the foot of Glover, but in that particular part of Glover, I don't think you're going to find a 4,000 square foot house. The other thing that bothers me, oh, by the way, thank you very much for presenting this model. This model is very helpful in understanding the whole picture, and it really helps. The stonework I find inappropriate to Sag Harbor. because I don't think that you will be able to find any stone houses in Sag Harbor. And so it just seems like it belongs in another state, perhaps, where there are lots of stones. So I'm a little bothered by the streetscape because this will be so much bigger than its neighbors. And the other thing that I say is all this stonework, not only on the house, but I think I see a very large stone wall.
It's
So those are
and
my,
with some sort of, yes, okay. Noted.
Bethany?
I think it's a handsome design. I really like the house. And I would be curious of the houses that are around it, you know, the sizes. Because I really do like it. And I actually like the stone on the pool house. And I did when what we're looking at right now, I kind of had that feeling about, like you, Judith, of the stone wall. But overall, I think it's quite nice looking.
Hey, to Judith's point about the stone, I mean, there are samples of walls that incorporate old ballast stones that come from all over the place. But I think to her point that the whole facade of that garage it looks like it's from somewhere else. So I think you could probably crank that detail a little bit to kind of work with sort of the sense of Sag Harbor that it does feel like upstate New York, Maine or something like that. Val Florio? Val?
Well, I think it's interesting because a historian might say that this house is sort of a change in direction from being non-historic, so it won't get confused with other houses on the street. The model is definitely helpful because on paper, you know, this thing reads a lot different. It has a cottage-like feel. I'm just sort of gathering my thoughts because this is the first time I've seen the model, but you know, it's we have a lot of little monopoly style houses in the village, and something about the shingle style, you know, I think it'd be helpful to see more perspective on this. Maybe, I'm not sure if there's a rendering or something, but as it relates to the streetscape, it would be helpful to see how it works with the other two houses side by side.
Bob Adams?
I think it's rather large for Sag Harbor, and I agree with what Val just said.
I think a rendering would really do this justice, and I think to help us work through this square footage of this house and the size of it, we're going to need like an aerial plan showing that, you know, the different houses in the vicinity and their square footage and how it compares to this one. And then with that, I think it's super important to understand how this site's being manipulated grade-wise and why there are walls, and how the elevations are working. And very importantly, what's going on with this is another plan with a lot of landscape lighting. I'd like to know what the wattages are and what the concept is with the lighting.
A lighting plan was presented with the.
Yeah, I'd like someone to walk us through and say why they're using so many lights on this site, and I'd like to hear. I'd like that to be out in the open and explain what's going on with the walls, the elevations of this property, why it's being raised, and you know, we need someone to walk us through the landscape. You said you had someone.
I believe Michael Derrick or someone from his team was going to join. I'm not sure if they're on. I do believe the architect is on, but not necessarily his plan to.
So to move this forward, I think someone from the site team needs to be really super clear and ready to make adjustments at the public hearing possibly regarding how much light is being blasted on the site, how the grades are being manipulated, and how it's going to look. There, is that wall, it's a simple thing. We just need to know what's happening here. And I'm happy to vote for a public hearing, but, I think you're getting a positive reaction, but with the sticking point is the overuse of the stone cladding and the size of this structure. And it's a matter of convincing us that, the neighboring properties, are of a similar size in some way, and how this is working into the street. So with that, board, would you be okay if I go to a vote to set a public hearing for this project? And it would be very important at the public hearing that, the architect walks us through. These are simple things, the details for the chimneys, what's going on around the windows, the doors, the soffit, just some stuff that, we're here as the aesthetic element, and we just need to be provided with that information.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that has all been provided, but understood. We can walk you through
I
it.
would like someone to walk us through it. I did not see that detail today. We're online, we're being recorded, and this is important that this is all out in the open. What are you doing? And we ask that of everyone. Okay, I'll make that motion to set a public hearing for 37 Glover Street.
I second that motion.
Carrie, what is that date?
July 8th.
July 8th.
Got it.
So that was myself and Bob for July 8th. All in
Thank you.
favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Does everybody agree? Aye. Okay.
Yes, aye.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. 5 Suffolk Street, please.
That's Anthony and Susan Mead.
Turn this off now.
We have Zach is with us today.
Yes, yes.
Howdy.
Yeah.
Hi, Zach.
Hello, hello. Good to join you.
So Anthony, if you just state your name and the property,
And
and then
unmute. Oh, okay. All
and
right.
then we'll ask Zach to just jump right out in front and tell us what he found.
Sure. So Anthony Vermandois, 68 Union Street, Sag Harbor, representing Susan Mead at 5 Suffolk Street, Sag Harbor.
So Zach, what did you find?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm joining you late and I'm just checking my notes here.
You wrote something up, Zach. And it
Yeah,
was
very
myself.
briefly. Yeah, very briefly.
Judy and I met you there.
Okay, so this is the one with the later porch.
Yeah,
but-
you
okay.
thought maybe the porch was
We
1855.
kind of digress with that. Right, so I feel, I think that the addition is I think the scale of this is good. I think the original detailing of the house is being preserved and respected. You're stepping that ridgeline down, are you not?
Well, it's the existing ridge line. We're not changing the footprint at all, except for that little tiny bit in the back where that back wall of the 1-story
Yeah.
bumped out, where we're just making
Right.
it even instead of jutting out. So we're actually technically
Which has-
reducing the square footage of the house very slightly.
Okay, so it really has no impact on the architecture of the house.
No.
And I think we're good with this one.
Yeah,
Great.
both, that's exactly what you wrote, Zach, for it.
So-
that- Mhm.
Anthony, if you could
Very
just walk
minimal.
us,
No negative impact.
if
on
you
the
could walk us
historic
through
integrity.
your project, that'd be great.
Sure. Do you want me to try to screen share? Oh, Carrie, you already got it. Great. So I think we want to go to A3.
Okay, hold on one moment.
do you want me to try to screen share? I got the drawing right here.
If you can.
All right, let me try this out. I'm kind of new at this, but let me just see, because if I do have the drawing right here.
Okay.
Did that work?
Let me stop sharing. Hold on. I was sharing. I'm sorry. Go ahead now.
All right. Any luck?
Now, if you have it up, now hit share screen on the bottom, the green,
Yep, I did.
and then new share. I'm just looking for it. I don't. There you go.
That it? You see it?
Almost.
You're sharing. Oh, there we
There
go.
you go.
Yay!
There we go.
Okay, great. Okay, so here is, you can see A3. I don't know if you can see my cursor moving around.
We
Yes.
can.
Yeah.
Oh, great, excellent.
Yep.
So you can see it's really, this is the front of the house here. This is the side elevation and the rear. So really what we're doing is just on this little bit of the side elevation, we're removing a door, and then there's this kind of funny shed roof protecting the door and the one window. So that's being removed. There's a stoop here that's later construction that's being removed, a couple other things, a garbage shed. But really what we're doing here is in the back, there's we're reworking this back wall of this one-story little shed here. So it'll be a row of 4 casement windows, and then a French door and a new stoop going out to the back.
And the way it's, as I remember, the way it's built now, the left half of that exists, and you're essentially regularizing all of it, so it has the same roof line.
Exactly. It all exists. It's just the roof line is just kind of jagged there. I think if I can even try to open up the next page, I think it has a view of the existing if you want to see it. But really, that's all we're doing. It's just evening that out.
So Anthony, the image that we see of the side, that's on the right-hand side, yes, that's where the cursor is. That's what it's going to look like?
Yes, that's what it's going to look like. And
Okay.
I do believe I have a view of the existing somewhere here. I can try to open it. Okay, I don't know if you can see that here. Let's try to get this.
Oh, yeah, I
going
see.
the right way.
Well, I can see the door, like you said. Oh, no, maybe that's how it's going to look.
Yeah, so what we have here is this here is the existing side. Let me try to zoom in here. View.
Go to marquee, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can.
There we go.
There you go.
Thanks. Okay, that should be a little clearer. All right, so here, here you've got the existing side here. You can see how there's these 2 roofs that are different heights. There's this side door, this stoop, and this little shed thingy-majig. So what we're doing is just kind of regularizing this. This door goes away, the shed thing goes away, the stoop goes away. 2 new windows here, a new little basement entry there, and then this roof just becomes evened out. And then you can see on the rear elevation, this is the existing. So this kind of funny change in height here. This is that sort of funny shed thingamajig, the existing stoop there that we're taking away. So we're just regularizing this. So it'll just be one roof line and a stoop going down.
Yep.
It's good.
Yeah, all makes sense.
We're picking up the existing details and just implementing them around. This is a very nice application. Comments, Zach?
Oh, I think it's perfectly fine. All the real work is on the back, which is all newer construction anyway, and it's obviously out of sight from the street.
Judith?
Yes, it's an improvement by far.
Yeah.
Bob?
It looks good to me. It's fine.
Val?
Yeah, very nice.
And Bethany?
I agree.
Okay, great. I think that this is a great addition. I mean, this is working with the existing architecture. It's great. I
Thank
make the motion to approve 5 Suffolk Street. Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. That was myself and Judith. Thank you.
Dean, can you just switch 62 instead of 224 Jermaine, just because 62 Franklin is Anthony.
Oh, thank you.
62 Franklin Avenue, please.
Okay,
Thank you.
Anthony Vermandois, 68 Union Street, representing Ray Romano for 62 Franklin Street. So we, if you may recall, about I think this was back in December, we did a discussion item for this project. I think things just got kind of caught up with some of the upheavals in the building department and stuff. So we had to kind of update everything to meet the new checklist and whatnot. And then we finally got to have yesterday a site visit with me and Zach over at the property. So he's now seen it.
So Anthony, can we get the right image up? And Zach,
I'm gonna try to do that right now.
Working on it.
Zach, can you tell us about this site?
Right. Well, it's a lovely small scaled craftsman type cottage. It's 1 story. It's a little unusual. It's only 4 bays wide, which will come up later in the discussion. Seems to be pretty much intact as built, and this is an application to enlarge it to the rear. And Anthony can speak for himself, but I think that what he's going to present will show that he's scaling that addition appropriately. It steps down from the existing house and it steps in on either side. And so I think he's done a good job. As I said, the house is small in scale to begin with, so that's always a challenge. But I think he's done a good job with that.
It's interesting. You see all the old windows are kind of intact. It's
All this, yeah. As far as I recall, just virtually all of the existing house is going to remain pretty much as is.
Some very minimal changes to the existing house. A couple of things, and this is all stuff things that Zach and I had discussed. The existing foundation is it's kind of a mess. It's basically I think what we think might have happened was originally the whole basement was just a crawl space. Then at some point somebody came around and dug out a part of the basement to get some headroom in there for newer mechanical equipment. And you can see the formwork. It's like a very old-fashioned kind of formwork. So it's a poured foundation, not a block foundation like you usually see, but it's like a very kind of primitive form of formwork. So the idea here is that we do want to lift the house and put an entirely new foundation in there. And you'll see in the drawing set that's all fully called out and detailed and whatnot with the dimensions and details. The house won't be any taller than it is now. That's noted on the site plan and survey that the first floor height will be the same height, ridge height, existing ridge height will be the same height. So that's probably the biggest intervention to the existing part of the house. The other intervention to the existing house that Zach and I talked about, and I think Zach was a little bit skeptical about it at first, but when we saw the logic of it here, I hope it maybe made a little bit more sense. But you'll see in the existing front facade, the front door is here and there's a window here. What we want to do is flip-flop the two, door here and window here. This will still be the same original door, the same original window. It's just they're literally flipped. And usually when you see people doing this, they're dealing with a 3-bay or a 5-bay house, and it just sort of messes up the symmetry. But in this case, it's a 4-bay house, so it's not really changing the symmetry or the aesthetic at all. It's just literally just flipping the two. So I wanted to bring that to your attention.
Can you walk us through the materials and the new basement material?
Sure. Okay, so the basement, hold on a second here. I have to just go to a different drawing. Actually, Dean, do you mind if I just stick on this drawing just for a moment here, just so I don't have to find it again?
And for context, what is the square footage including your addition?
Give me a second, because I have it written down. Yeah. Okay. So the existing first floor is 685 square feet. With the addition, it will be a total of 1,355 square feet. The existing second floor is 515 square feet, and with the addition, the second floor will be a total of 1,885 square feet. So we're looking at just slightly over 2,000 square feet when we're all done here. So obviously well under the GFA for the property. Okay, so just
what you told me, I'm coming up with 3,200. You said 1,355.
Yeah, 1,355 plus 885.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's the those numbers are the total, including the existing and the proposed.
Great, thank you.
Okay. And then just so you can see, there are compared elevations that we like to see. I think the most telling one is I can zoom in here, but I can't seem to zoom out. Give me a moment here. Let's see if this one works. There we go. Okay, so I think the most telling elevation is going to be this one. So here's the existing house. Here's the proposed house. You can see we're stepping down 2 feet here, stepping down 4 feet here to this 1-story in the back. You know, just adding some this dormer here gets elongated a little bit. This is an additional dormer picking up on the same aesthetic of the existing dormer, but just a little bit taller to get egress windows in there. A little side porch here, you know, double hung 2/2 double hung windows to match the existing. Couple of all right, you had asked about the detailing, so I'll go into that.
Let me ask a quick question about the
Sure.
chimney. It just seems, really large to me, Zach. What are you thinking about it? Like, especially when I look at the front view, and part of it, you know, it's like it's detached from the house because that back.
Yeah, actually, we looked at the house and we looked at the details that I don't recall seeing that. Is that that is an outdoor, that's an outdoor chimney? Or
yeah, it protrudes from the house.
Protrudes, yeah.
I mean, that's something we could, you know, we could bring that into flush with the wall if
that would be better. Yeah, Bethany, I'm glad you picked up on that. That does look, it's more.
I mean, it's like a, you know, like a tower instead of a chimney.
Yeah, we could pull that in so it's flush with the outside wall.
Okay.
Before, Anthony, before you do that, could you put a cricket? You know, just do a reverse gable so you don't have to pull it inside? Or is it better to sink that chimney inside?
I think, I think I'd rather just sink it, because I think the chimney is actually, it's not that wide all over. So I think if we start putting an angle in there, it's just going to start looking a little weird. I mean, I'll play around with it a little bit, but I think just pulling it in would probably be the path of least resistance here.
All right, good.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So file, open. Give me a second here. I think I have the details on A6, so hopefully. Yeah, okay, perfect. Let me rotate.
You're getting good at this,
Good
Anthony.
at this.
He is, I know.
Actually, yeah. Okay, so you'll see here, I've got my wall section. So you can see how the foundation is working here. We're going to step in the 1-inch step that Zach likes with the 3/4 split brick veneer on it. This is through the new part of the house, so that's why it's showing, you know, everything new there. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right, so yeah, so you got your floor framing. So basically the windows, as we talked about, 2/2 windows to match the existing. The nice, really deep soffit fascia detail will match the existing. As Zach and I noticed, the house doesn't have any gutters. It's basically water is handled by just the depth of the overhang. So that'll
That's
be
great detail.
retained.
Yep.
Siding, same shingle siding that's there now. Everything's just gonna be painted white. Trim also will be white. A little bit of a more modest overhang for the dormers, which picks up on the existing dormer detail. I think I do have a detail of that somewhere. Yeah, here it is. So it's just 6 inches deep for the dormer detail. Window gets pushed up pretty close to the fascia, but that's the way the existing dormer is now. Here's a blow up of that nice big deep main fascia.
What is the roof material?
I'm sorry?
What is the roof material?
Cedar shingles.
Val, do you have comments?
No, it's a nice looking addition, nice and simple, and scale looks great.
Bethany?
I like the plan very much.
Bob?
I like the plan myself. Looks good.
Judith?
I like it too. I'm curious why you're flipping the door and the window on the front.
The reasoning is just interior layout. We're actually moving the bedroom to the front, so the first floor bedroom to the front, so the door would you walk right into the bedroom. So that is just so you walk into a hallway, and it's just just playing around with the floor layout. That was really the only way we could position the bedroom.
Yeah, I think it's a nice little arts and crafts, and you're doing a nice enlargement of it.
Yeah.
From the street, when I was there today, you can imagine with this addition, you would still maintain the original integrity of this house and what it looked like when it was built. So I think you did a great job with this.
Mhm.
So can we move to the site?
Sure. View file. Open. This one. You know what? This one is almost, it's probably just as well to leave it in its current configuration. So you can see here is the square of the existing house. Widen the driveway slightly to get 3 cars in there. That's something the ZBA wanted. There's our side entrance. This is the addition here. We do have our swimming pool pushed all the way in the back there. It's a pretty small pool, 11 by 19 feet. Pool equipment there, some shrubbery around the pool equipment. Lot coverage is a little tight here, so we're really just gonna have a gravel patio, pool coping, and pool equipment, and that's it. We can, at a later point, we might want to see if we want to deal with going for a variance for lot coverage, but we wanted to at least get started with something that works totally with conforming. There's actually some existing privet along the front perimeter, pretty high stockade fence along this side of the property. I think, yeah, actually the stockade fences run across the whole property, if I remember correctly. And then in the back here around the swimming pool, just some higher green giants. I think I have specified 12 feet, 4 feet on center. And then the existing stockade fencing behind that, which will serve as the pool enclosure.
There are a lot of neighboring plants. I think it's a lovely backyard. Bethany?
I like this plan too, and I love it when room is made for the cars to park on the property, and because of all the parking on the streets now that we're coming to
Yeah,
Sag
even
Harbor, This
Even
is
just
great.
driving there yesterday, Franklin
Yeah.
Street's kind
No,
of a
this is
disaster
great.
with parking.
It-
So yeah, getting
as you
that
know,
extra
Ann,
spot was
It
important.
doesn't matter where we go, right? So
Yeah.
this, every street in Sag Harbor, but this, I like this very much.
Bob?
I like it very much myself, looking at the design. Looks good.
Val?
Yeah, it looks great. I don't know where the septic system goes, but you fit it all in there.
Good question. Right here. And that's part of the reason for the swimming. We do have Suffolk County Health Department approval, so that's all taken care of. It sort of goes here. And that kind of drove the location of the swimming pool and the pool equipment and stuff like that.
It's interesting.
Judith?
Yeah, it's great. Love it.
Hey, Anthony, I think you did a great job here with this perfect little preserved house. Thanks a lot, Zach, for doing all that work.
Great, thank you.
Is there a motion to approve 62 Franklin as presented tonight?
I'll make that.
I'll second. Oop.
That's Bethany and Judith. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now you're going to go back to 224 Jermaine.
224 Jermaine Avenue, please.
224.
Yes, good evening. My name's Ihor Boyson. I'm structural engineer with Trinity Solar. I also have Corey Corcoran here. He is an engineering specialist and design layout person on solar systems attending. And this is, of course, for 224 Germain. I believe we have a resubmission here to correct a deficiency I think we had with panels being seen on a previous submission.
Okay, great. So this is in the historic district, so we really need to make sure these things are not seen from a neighbor or the street. So if you have some sort of a site plan that depicts that, that would be great.
Ian, you guys went out for a site visit on this to see.
Right. And we could not imagine how they could I was out there with Bethany,
Okay.
how they could camouflage these solar panels, but I'm all ears.
So,
Is there a site plan that you can show us?
I'm sorry?
Is there a site plan showing the street, the house, the orientation of the roof?
Let me ask, I was wondering, do you have drawings available or there they are there?
Aries jumping on it now. There you go.
Okay, so where is the street?
Yeah, where's
I got it.
I guess, well,
Let me just see. I'm
the
just
other
seeing.
direction.
You had it, yeah.
That I guess the street is not shown there.
This is not a provision that this board can waive, just for the record. It would have to go to ZBA to the extent that any panels could be seen from the street in the historic district. I think it's the neighboring property too, but I'd have to check.
It's pretty much the
pull it
way
up.
I remember it.
I'll read it. Let me see.
So we have approved solar panels in the historic district, but from the neighbor and the street, this application was completely hidden and not visible. And
Okay.
that's in our code. So if you could just provide us with more detailed information showing that, then we can move forward. Other than that, we have a hardcore code here that's not going to let us go forward.
Understood, perfectly clear. And I apologize because I'm normally just dealing with structures on the structural side. And we got a little bit late notice on that we were on the agenda tonight. So I didn't have much time to review some of these things, but that's fine. Is there any, can you specifically identify which areas they were being visible from or if that's on record somewhere?
From an adjacent street or from an adjacent property pursuant to 300-13.7D.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
So you can't, just real quick, so you can't see it from, like, if you're standing in front of your neighbor, like if you're in your neighbor's yard, you should not be able to see your neighbor's solar panel. This is actually what you're saying.
But if you're in
Yes.
their house, you can.
Okay, from front or back, like standing in their backyard, standing in the front yard.
So I was there with another member and we imagined where these things would be and we determined that we could see them. So if you could just clarify it for us in some sort of documentation that makes this perfectly clear to us that it cannot be seen from a neighboring property or a street, we're good to
Yes,
go.
we came down Jermaine. We felt as though we would see it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's all good. We just
Understood.
have nothing here that we can stamp approved tonight. So if you could just come back with some more information, that'd be great.
Thank you very much, and we will do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I make a motion to table 224 Germain Avenue. Is there a second?
I second.
So that's myself and Bob. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. So 132 Germain Avenue.
We did, oh no, sorry.
So Zach, this was a discussion the last meeting, and although many of us liked it, we just weren't concerned about, we were losing too much of the original character of the structure, and we were hoping that you could opine on that. So I'm going to ask the applicant just to walk us through quickly the.
If I could see it, I think I may have missed the discussion at the last meeting.
So the applicant can say their name for the record and then just walk us through
You
the
you
proposed
came with
elevation.
us, Zach, to this.
Yeah,
house.
this was the very wide staircase that,
Yeah.
there was going to be an up
Up
and a
and
down.
down. You got it.
Okay, hold on, guys. Is there an applicant here?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me? It's Katie Lead. My architect's supposed to be, I'll do my best. If the architect's supposed to be on the line, he did
I'm
reach
on.
out to Carrie.
I'm on.
Oh, there
I'm
he
on.
is.
You're in.
Kevin,
You're in luck,
great.
Katie.
Oh yeah, you're here to save the day, Kevin. Woo, thank goodness.
If you can go to the elevations, please, that'd be great.
Yep. Yeah. So here's the
Fire relief.
existing, and then we've got front elevation. Again, for the board's benefit, and Zach, looking at creating a new entablature and a slight awning there, detail over the front door, adding shutters, and then you were spot on there in the back. Oh, and here I've got my.
Can we just go back to the front elevation, please?
Yes, I'm sorry.
And so the question, Zach, was, is this being gentrified? What do you think of, the bakeries next door? What do you think this house was? And how do you think
Yeah.
about the embellishments that they're proposing for this structure? We need some clarification on this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually.
Oh, I don't hear it.
He's frozen in
Oh.
time.
The suspense is killing me.
Me too.
I thought the same thing.
That was me that disappeared. Sorry. I question that hood that sits, the bracketed cover to the door. I mean, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, I mean, the facade is quite plain. I'm not questioning the style of that. I think stylistically, it's appropriate. I think it's a little too decorative. I mean, I would say it would help the case here if there was something comparable in the village. I mean, I would say it's a 50-50. The doorway as it is present looks overly plain. I think that would be the place to have some decoration. What's styled is appropriate to the period. I'm just not confident that we have anything like that here in the village. But if something like that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I do know I got the idea from a couple houses. I think they're on Glover Street, and that's where the idea came from.
Okay.
I don't know if they're Brian Graybill or Stephen Gambrell, but they were I don't know if they were original or what, but they had gas lanterns and they had that detail on them. I can walk the streets and get that image again, if that would be helpful.
It's a small thing.
It's basically,
but
the idea was a bit of a steal.
Yeah, and I think that nice overhanging roof and especially the flattening of the eaves tells us very quickly, this is a house of about 1870, plus or minus a year and a half. And so your flat bracketed hood to the door is perfect. It's very compatible with that in terms of period. It's just, it's a little stylish, but I don't think that's objectionable. I don't know if you want shutters. Frankly, you show them as, I'm not quite sure what in that rendering. This is probably a house that did not have shutters, I would guess. And if it did, they would be louvered. And I would talk anyone out of putting on shutters if you don't have them to begin with.
Can we move to the rear of the rear
Sure.
elevation?
Yeah, our thought on the shutters honestly was just given the proximity to the street. So often we see in towns and in Sag Harbor that when you having that solid shutter actually at ground level is really important when your door is essentially also at ground level. Just being 18 inches up from grade to the first floor is very transparent. So oftentimes see shutters. Obviously, if we were doing a historic replica here, maybe they would have been paneled shutters. We decided perhaps to add a little bit of a nod to a current gesture, maybe to do the diagonal boards, which is a little more playful.
That wouldn't look quite right. If privacy is an issue, that's why Venetian blinds were invented, because you can open them and close them inside. That's a privacy thing. These would not be hung as functional. In fact, you've had to adjust that one to make it extremely wide so that it doesn't fold onto the light fixture. So quite frankly, none of the shutters really make any sense. And I think you keep the facade relatively plain as it is and introduce something at the doorway, which I think is acceptable. I think we're good.
Can we
go around the back?
Yeah, we had some issues with the, we didn't have issues. We just wanted you to take a second look.
So here on the back, essentially taking the current porch, or I should say the current wood deck, and enclosing it with a sunroom, almost a conservatory or greenhouse feel, with casement windows, wrapping. This house had clearly had an addition in the back, and so we're adding to that. And then the wide stair also looking at getting an access to the basement level, which is I don't know, maybe about 5.5 feet, almost 6 feet out of the ground on this side. And so having that walkway down to the lower level is helpful here as well.
When we were there, the decking there and the extrusion of that existing roof line, the rendering does not do it justice. It looks a lot bigger than what it actually would be. And cutting the stair in half is, I think it's kind of romantic. It's kind of fun the way they've played with this a little bit. It's just unfortunate that the rendering makes it look enormous.
It exaggerates. Yeah, it really exaggerates the scale of it. Yeah. It's not nearly that big.
Really tiny.
And then
How
the other
many
thing,
square feet is that, Kevin? It's just a tiny thing.
Yeah, that's right. It's 10 by 12 by 13.
And then the other, these, we need to move along. I just want to flesh out these situations, and then you can come back with, I guess, drawings. You'll have a direction. So Zach, the other sticking point was the non-conforming historic barn in the back. The way they are turning this into a studio, what are your concerns or comments? Architecturally.
He's frozen.
We stumped him.
I think
He's really pondering it.
We'll get there.
I think he's gone.
We waited this long.
Okay, so board, we went through this. We we kind of liked the direction this applicant was going in regarding this project. And it was just listening to Zach and giving the applicant the go ahead to go forward to flesh out the details for us. So, and when I was on site with Bethany and we were talking to Zach, I think he did not have a problem with, addressing the barn as a studio. So I
Yeah,
think
because it's not a, you know,
I
it's
don't
not in
think
the book.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's move forward and we'll table this and we'll look forward to your details.
Okay.
So our next step should essentially just be sort of a revised design. It sounds like maybe a reference photo of the imagery or
Not
maybe
photos. It would be like a detail. Like for
Okay.
instance, the shutters came up as like an issue, and how would you detail that the shutter and actual I'm
And
not
the
gonna
front
say
door,
I'm not gonna
front
say
door,
CDs, but pretty damn close.
you know,
what I
the
mean?
little over the front door.
We don't like pictures. We love details.
Perfect.
Right.
We prefer to draw.
Oh, wait, can I ask one question though? Because I know you have to move on, but remember there was the issue of wanting to raise the back house, the foot.
Right.
Because it doesn't have a foundation and we have a very tall family, so it's a practical
Yeah.
issue. We are not changing the roof line.
We'll get some documentation. Just, I think you got, if someone jumps in and says something differently, I think we're all good with your original proposal, and we will get,
Lifting it, right?
yeah.
For
and
her to
we'll-
lift it, yeah.
Like a foot, and we will get documentation from Zach's comments on that back barn to you, so you have that.
Thank you.
Sorry, I lost
so much.
Oh,
Thank you.
Back.
Thank you very, very much.
Zach?
Yeah.
Are you here? Okay, the quick question on the
sorry.
back building.
Yeah.
They were raising it a foot and
Yeah.
they're adding these windows to make this a usable space as we don't even have to know what they're using it for.
No,
What are your comments?
I think that's fine. I think the scale of it is such, it's quite low as it is. Raising it slightly to make it function is not a problem at all.
Are there any more comments from the board regarding this project?
I have one question.
Please.
On the picture of the back of the house, there seems to be a new, in the little porch, instead of a door, there's now a window that seems to have 12 panes, but all the other windows in the house are 2 over 2.
Good, Jude.
So I'm just wondering about that 12 pane window.
I think that's a door. I think that's a door, isn't it?
That
Oh,
is
it's a
a
door.
door. We were showing that
There
as a Dutch
Yeah.
door.
Okay, well,
I
even
see.
so, perhaps, I don't know how Zach feels about it, but maybe it should be 2 over 2 like the other things.
Well, that's a new
Yeah.
door,
Yeah.
that's a glazed door there. So
Mhm.
I don't think that, something like that might be better. Little four light, a little more consistent with what's there. Yeah.
Just be
This will
careful
great to
opening
see.
and closing it, right?
This will be great to see how this will be detailed. So I think you have a favorable direction, and thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank
I
you
make
all.
I
As
make a
always,
motion-
Mr. Clark.
I
Thank
make a
you.
motion to table 132 Germain Avenue. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's myself and Bethany.
Thank you.
55 John Street, please.
Hello, I'm Christopher DeSuno. I'm the architect for the applicant.
Hey, Chris, what do you got?
Hi, Dean. Very small project here. We've got an existing house with second floor master bathroom, and under the dormer of the bathroom, or under the roof where the tub is, we'd like to extend an existing dormer so that there's enough headroom for a shower. You're looking at the existing survey. The hatched area toward John Street is the expansion of the dormer. The dotted line to the left of that is the existing dormer.
Mhm.
And we submitted another shot with a bunch of photographs.
Yeah.
So right there, these are some quick drawings of the existing house showing the existing dormer and the expansion of the existing dormer.
Mhm.
Zach, did you have a chance to go out there and check it out?
Yeah, I did. I looked at the drawings first and then drove by, and I didn't actually expect this to be the front facade of the house, which it is. And I would only question, I wouldn't actually call what's existing a dormer. Somehow or other, it's a truncated second story that wraps the corner and that doesn't get very far. And I'm only mentioning that because I think extending that as is proposed will improve the aesthetic of it. By the way, this house is listed in the National Register form, but it is not a contributing resource in the district. And the reason that it's not, because there's another little historical building on the property, is that in the estimation of the surveyor that it had been too altered formerly. So it had lacked integrity to be included as a contributing structure. So there's an important distinction in the district, not a contributing building. So your discussion is really simply on the basis of aesthetics.
Thank you very much.
Historical.
And room.
Val Florio? Val.
Sorry.
If we could pan down to the that image, the sheet that has all the images, you can see the interior.
Okay.
You can see the bathtub.
We have to concentrate on the exterior. Val,
Right.
what do you think?
That's the roof that's where the dormer is being popped up.
Got it.
Right. I think it's a good improvement. The single wide dormer looks very peculiar. So, adding some more girth to it is a great improvement, and this thing is motion worthy.
Bob Adams?
I think it could be a better design. But all he wants to do is just bump up straighten out that bathroom.
That dormer is out of proportion, or whatever Zach called it. It's a strange piece of architecture they got slapped
Yes,
on.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Bethany?
I'm in full support of extending it, and I think it'll be better.
Judith?
Yes, it'll be better. I drove by it today and I couldn't believe that thing sticking up out of the roof, and that I had never noticed it in all these years. And it's bizarre, but I think doubling it will make it look better.
So Chris, it sounds like you crushed it. Is there a motion to approve 55 John Street?
Thank you very much.
I'll make a
motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so it's Val and Bethany, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving right along. 18 Howard Street.
Sean Leonard.
Great.
Sean Leonard, the architect for 18 Howard Street.
Beautiful. What are we doing?
What we have is, do you want me to pull it up, the drawings?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, so right now there is, on the side of the house, there are two window wells for egress. And we're taking one of the two wells there, right here. And they want to actually make it one, they can actually have stairs, so they can walk out from the basement up and out. So we're not making it, it's not going into the side yard any more than the window well is currently. We're just adding the stairs to run along the side of the house and putting a railing on top that'll be painted white to go.
Okay, great. Just run through the materials. Are you stuck going in the wall? Are you painting it? What is the wall?
The walls that are underground will be all stuccoed. And the cap is actually would be bluestone. It's currently bluestone up there now. So we're just going to continue with the bluestone cap on top. And the material of the railings will be a white painted railing.
Bethany?
I'm fine with it.
Judith?
Seems fine.
Val?
Looks great.
Bob?
I'm fine.
I think it's awesome. I'll make that motion to approve 18 Howard Street. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
That was myself and Val. I will make the motion to open the public hearing for 10
Thank you.
Yale Road. Thank you. 10 Yale Road. Is there a second?
I'll
Me.
second.
Okay, it's myself and Judith. All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, applicant, please state your name for the record and tell us what's going on.
Hi, Melissa Dedovich, Peconic Environmental Associates. I'm here on behalf of the Marsilli Bat Project. I'm also joined with representatives from Blaise McCoy Architect, Elizabeth and Ryan, as well as Steve Naroda from Aris Design. I think what we're going to do is just represent what we presented last month. I think the board seemed very much in favor of this. Again, this is a waterfront lot with 2 front yards, waterfront, and then actually 3 front yards. It's kind of strange. And it's at the end of the terminus of Yale Road. So I think what we'll do is, Elizabeth, if you could walk us through the plans again and we'll represent.
Yep, sure. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
You can.
Right. So Melissa, do you want to just start with the survey and then we can jump? Okay, so as Melissa was saying, we are on a corner lot. So we've got the water to the south and the west, and then Yale Road is over here towards the east. If we jump to just the surrounding neighborhood to give us an idea of the property, here we have looking south at the water and the existing house over to the right. And again, looking north just to the adjacent neighbors. And here again is the existing house from the street and existing house from the water, which we will again see these views later on with our proposed rendering. So here we have our proposed elevations first, just to kind of give you an idea of the materials that we'll be using.
Actually, Elizabeth, let me just stop for 2 seconds, just to clarify too, because you get stuck waiting for so long, you forget what you're going to say. This is located in the Redwood section of Sag Harbor, and it's actually a renovation to the existing house with minor addition and roof changes. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Yeah, so we are utilizing the same footprint, and as you can see on our elevations, we're reworking the roof elevation. We're proposing to clad it in cedar shingle siding with accents of horizontal cedar in, at the entry deck, at the garage, and at our soffits of our overhangs, which we could see in the detail. We've also proposed a light gray stucco at the base and at our fireplace masses. We're also proposing kind of dark aluminum window frames, and we have metal accents throughout, which we'll see on our next elevation. So here is the north elevation facing the neighbors, and you'll again see our extensive cedar shingle, and we do have one dormer that we're treating with a standing seam metal roof here. And again, you'll notice we've got kind of metal details between our windows to carry our dark frames in that language. And here we are on our south elevation looking at the water. You see the extent of the cedar shingle roof again, just the larger openings of glass, which we'll see in the rendering. And looking over the pool, also towards the water, you can again kind of get a sense of the 3 roof peaks the smaller structure over here is our detached garage. And we are also kind of treating that in the same language with the cedar shingles and the same overhang details
And
here.
the garage is a new structure that receives ZBA relief as well.
And just for some material references, this is our palette. So our typical yellow cedar shingles. We've got a 1x horizontal cedar board, which we'll also be using at our kind of entry trellis structure, and the light gray stucco base and darkened windows, which we'll again kind of see in our renderings. You can see that kind of dark metal outlining our windows with darker gutter accents, and again with these horizontal and vertical cedar boards being carried throughout as an accent. So this is the view from the street, and again that same view back from the water, kind of just reiterating that kind of presence on site. We've also got Steve from Eris on to kind of walk us through the landscape.
That'd be great. Is there someone from Aris?
Yes, there is.
Hi there. Good evening. This is Steve Naroda with Aris Design. So essentially, with the landscape, it's all native plantings. With the pool retreat from the wetland, the proposed pool is located so that we can actually expand a native buffer between the wetland and the pool. We're got about a 35-foot average width for the buffer. It's approximately 7,000 square feet. And then for lawn areas, we're utilizing native fescue lawn, just low maintenance, no chemical inputs. And there are some nice trees on the property. There are 4 red oak along on the south side here that we're preserving. And then one up along by where the existing driveway is. Any questions from the board specifically?
Yes. What is some of the plant material that's running along the street, please? What will we see from the street?
Okay. Can you zoom in on that?
We can see it.
Okay.
Well, what is that plant material?
Can you zoom down to the plant list? Yeah, there you go. Where's the call out here? We were going with the Ilex glabra along the street edge.
It looks like red cedar. So you got red cedar trees, right? So is that what that symbol is?
Where is it? I'm sorry. Can you zoom
along the property line by the street.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I apologize. We have red cedar along the street edge.
Mm-hmm.
And then could you discuss, do you have any landscape lighting on this site?
At this point, we don't have a plan for landscape lighting. We could revisit with that.
Okay, so that's what I'm not. This is where we're going to go with this. I'm going to ask the public for a comment, and then we'll probably close the hearing, and then we'll run through the board with their comments. Okay, are there questions from the public regarding this application? Carrie, do you see anybody? Carrie and Zach, what's going on? Carrie.
I don't.
Okay, well, this is your lucky night.
Well, we also, we do have letter and emails of support from the neighbor directly to the north of the property, directly across the street.
Which is in the file. I'm asking if there's okay, great. This is very handy. Okay, so I'm going to make a motion to close the public hearing for 10 Yale Road. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, that's myself and Bob. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, you have to say aye or opposed.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
That's 2 ayes. I need another one.
We
Okay.
got-
Aye.
Okay, we're good.
Everybody
Closing it.
You're not listening, people.
Can't hear
Okay,
you.
Bethany, do you have comments regarding the structure, the architecture?
I think the architecture blends in very well, and how they've added on to the original house is great. And I love that view from the water with the, it's beautiful. It's magnificent.
Native plants everywhere. I mean, they really did a great job. Val Florio?
I like it. I like it the first time we saw it, and here we go. Ready
Right.
to vote.
Bob?
I think it's great. I like the glass and really give it a go.
And Judith?
It's very handsome, and I love all the native plantings.
Wow.
I like the flagpole too.
Nice touch.
Okay, is there a motion to approve 10 Yale Road?
I'll
Yeah.
make that motion.
And-
I'll second.
Okay, so that's Judith and Bethany, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Opposed?
aye.
Thank you for the presentation, very thorough.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
very much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, I'll make the motion to open the public hearing for 3 Brandywine Drive. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so I think that was Bethany. So myself and Bethany, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Is there an applicant for 3 Brandywine?
Yes, hi, I'm here. Can you
Okay,
see
your
me?
name is?
Bonnie Hillman.
Great. Okay, so please tell us about your project.
Carrie, could you pull up the drawing? I'm building a residential property on the dead end street of Brandywine. And is Carrie there? She has my,
Yes, I'm pulling it up now. I just have
thank
to
you,
save it.
Carrie.
And what is
Thank
the
you.
square footage of this home?
It's about 4,100 square feet. So it's the building is without the garage is 25 by 70, and with the garage is 25 by 93.
Great.
So I'm just waiting for her to pull that up. Do I have to, I'll share the screen? Or no?
If you can, I'm just downloading what you just emailed me because you said you couldn't before, so you just have to bear with me.
Okay, that was just the 3D drawings. I didn't know if that was something.
Okay, so if you want to try to screen share and show what you.
No, I think I'll wait for you.
So what do you want up first?
Well, what would the board like to see? Because
We'd like to-
nothing's really
This
changed.
is, okay,
Sorry.
just if you could, for the record, run through the architecture. And then
Sure.
I'll go for public comment.
Okay. So basically, it's a sort of a barn style, modern barn style home. It's a rectangular shape. It has a it's very simple design. I have the photo of the house that it's sort of designed to look like it's a home that was built in Bridgehampton. So it has shiplap siding that is vertical siding. This is the front entrance. And then it has just windows that sort of surround the front entrance that are all 6 by 6. They're black windows, and the house is more of a whitish gray color. It's white, but it has sort of like a hint of a gray undertone. And the roof is black, and it's just sort of a very simple, clean design.
What is the material of the roof?
The roof is just at the asphalt, just the simple black. And this is the back of the house, which no one would really see because there's going to be screened trees blocking the property from the street. And it sort of faces a reserve, so no one will really see the back of the house. There's just some sliding doors and a balcony with the sliding doors above. And again, another sliding door here, and the windows that sort of match the front windows that are the 6x6 windows. And yes, the chimney doesn't extend beyond the house. It goes in, it's on the interior of the house. So you only see the chimney. And it's just a really simple, very basic, streamlined, sort of like modern style, because it's sort of clean, straight lines, a mitered corner.
You have detail sheets that you can share with the public?
Carrie, can you show, I just sent you an email of the 3D. Oh, would you like detail sheets of this type of drawing or 3D?
No, like what the, you know, the trim around the window, any kind of detail that the entrance detail, any kind of architectural detail.
Yes,
sheet.
Carrie, I had sent that to you. There's a sheet with all the details on it. Do you have that one?
Isn't this it?
Oh yeah, but I also have the actual materials like the colors and things. But yeah, so this sort of gives you an example of so it's of what. Did you mean like a color drawing or this? Is this
An architectural drawing showing like the eave detail, a window detail, a door detail, or you know, the overhang detail. Any detail that we can share with the public would be helpful.
Okay, sure. It's the roof and the front wall meet. So it's a very sort of simple. There's no eave. It's sort of a modern style, and this is the shiplap, which will be 4 inches, but with a quarter-inch gap. So, and it's just a shiplap siding, clear timber siding. And the door again would be similar. It's out of cedar, and it's just vertical.
Okay. So that's I'm not looking for a verbal detail. I just want actually an architectural detail. But that's that.
Yeah. So this is the detail. Yeah. Sorry.
Does one exist? Is there a sheet of details? Like the stairs coming out of this house? This is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's this. Is there another page as well for the back, Carrie, that shows? Yeah, this shows all this. I mean, it's hard to read, but it describes everything that's. Oh, here it is. Okay, thank you, Carrie. So this describes. This is the drawing. This is what it will look like, and in the writing here, it tells you exactly what.
Okay.
The
description. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. Are there comments from the public regarding this property? Not the property, just the architecture. Carrie, is there anyone out there that would like to?
I don't see anybody, Dean.
Okay. So I make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, so a couple things. I'm going to ask for comments from the board, but we should know if the trim is flush with the siding. We should know the door and what the details, how that door works and how the steps work and what the material is of a step. You know, in like a, 1 inch equals a foot details, something. So there's got to be more detail so we know what's going on with this house. And then my plan was to table this
here,
to go. Excuse me. My plan was to go through the public hearing process and see if there are any comments from the public. And what I think is really integral in this situation is that it's a wooded lot. There are large trees on this lot, and this is a simple structure. And I appreciate that this is what you would like to build, but I think it's integral that you have some of this existing streetscape preserved, and we need to know what trees are going to stay and what the new landscaping is how this is all going to work, and that you have approval from highway department for the orientation of the driveway. Also details of the lighting there. I see lighting fixtures all over the place. It'd be nice to know what the wattage is and how that works, if it's going up, down, or which way that's working. So, there are examples at the building department of what an application looks like, but for the purposes of this meeting, I would like to get the input from the board as far as the aesthetics of this structure. And again, it's very important that with this structure, I think, how many trees you save to help mitigate, this abrupt structure with the streetscape. I think it's one and the same. They have to work together.
I
There's got to be a synergy.
have a survey. After you, the last time we met, you had requested that. So I hired the survey company and paid them to come back and redo the survey and mark the trees that were staying. And I have a survey that shows the trees that I've kept.
I made my comments. It's not, there's not enough there for us to, and it's very small to sign off on. It's really got to be spelled out how this is working. And so I'm going to go to the architecture.
Can I show you the survey?
No.
Because I never got a chance to actually review that with you, so I can show you. And I'm happy to do whatever you want. I mean, I'll go along with.
I think there's examples at the building department for the details for the structure and also for the landscape we're looking for. It basically, in my mind's eye, I'm going to go through all the board, saving some of the trees to help mitigate this structure and how it melds in with the streetscape, which would be really important to know how that works and how the driveway works and the fence and how you're.
Well, I paid a lot of money to have those drawings done. I don't know.
Excuse me, that information is not, it's not adequate on the plans. So there's no way we can move forward without getting that information. And that information, there are samples that the building department can help you out with that. So with that, I'm going to go to each, getting this public, this public hearing out of the way, and then hopefully we can make some real strides at the next meeting. So, Val Florio, can you comment on the architecture?
I like it. I think that given the location, it's not in the historic district, and I think that, with this wooded lot, it seems to tuck itself nicely into the surrounds. So generally speaking, I'm good with the application, and if the applicant can supply the details that you're requesting, I have no other comment. I think it's a good application.
Thank you.
I think it's crossing.
I do have a question. It would be helpful for me, Dean, since I have that drawing done, if I could work off of that with you, so you could show me on the drawing exactly what is missing or not, because after you had made your comments last time, I went back and paid the guy to follow, everything.
This is too much information. I'm giving you direct answers, so I'm going to go to my next board member. Bethany, comments?
My feeling, one thing I would like for the next meeting is to see, again, with the streetscape, and I mean, I know that it's on the wooded lot, but of course I can't make that decision until we get the correct survey with the trees that are going down and the trees that are staying. And
I have that.
Honestly, my feeling is that you said that we know that the square footage is over 400, and that's why we had to do the public. But I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit like it should be a little smaller, but that's all I have to say.
So that's a great comment. So I would add a second sheet, and this could be Google Maps or whatever, of the surrounding houses and say, oh, this house is, 3,500, this one's a comparable, 4,200, just to satisfy the board. That's an easy thing to.
It's a very narrow house. It's only 25 feet wide. So it's very narrow.
Judith?
I would be curious to know how it fits in with the streetscape, as you have said. And also, I think plantings would soften it. It's simple and spare, and that's nice.
Yeah,
And I think it would be complemented by lots of greenery around it and the trees and all that.
That's actually on my landscape plan, which I would love to be able to present.
Bob
I
Adams,
think-
do you have comments?
Yeah, I think it's a little too large for that spot.
Okay,
The
so
lot is almost an acre, it's 0.7.
to move this forward, to move this project forward, I think we need to do a couple things. I think we should meet at the building department with a member or two, and we can just show you a sample of what we expect to see as far as these are small items, just little details for the windows and doors, and then maybe the steps so we know how that's working. And then as far as the landscape plan, we can show a sample of what's kind of acceptable. And I think these are simple things and you'll know how to go forward. And I think that would be the easiest way to do this.
And the lighting also, Dean, maybe, is there?
Yeah, there's
We haven't seen it, right?
Yep.
Lighting
I
plan.
have a drawing of the lighting and I have a picture of it as well.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to help you out here and I'm trying to get this job off, this project off the agenda. And I think this is the best way forward. We meet at the building department. You can see sample things that we've approved as far as the amount of detail that's required for us to stamp something approved. Again, we're sending people out in the field to, validate that we approved something and it went in the ground in a certain way according to the details. And these things are just are not here, but these are small things. And I'd love to meet you in town.
Carrie.
Okay, so I make a motion to table 4 Wildwood Drive.
I'd second that motion.
All in favor?
My
Aye.
property address is 7
3
Brandywine.
Brandywine.
Thank you.
7
Three
Brandywine.
3 Brandywine Drive, sorry.
It's actually 7. It's been changed to, it had 2 addresses. It's 7 now legally, 7 Brandywine Drive. That's where the
Make a motion
taxes are
to
paid.
Bonnie,
correction.
we haven't gotten that information yet, so it still has to be through the Village of Sag Harbor as 3. We haven't gotten documentation yet from the town.
Okay, we stand corrected. We tabled 3 Brandywine Drive. The next meeting. I think we're almost there. We just need the documentation.
Who made the motion?
I did.
I did, and I think Bob seconded it.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, discussion. 4 Wildwood Drive, please.
Good evening, members of the board. Alex Kriegsman, 279 Main Street, on behalf of the applicant. Dean, I thought you were going to table me before I even got started there. Thanks for having us on tonight. So I've just been retained and joined and was hoping to just kind of get a start on what the board is looking for. My understanding is that the house and the pool have been approved, that there were some concerns about some of the landscaping and that we've submitted materials and that there continues to be a concern or misunderstanding about something that was submitted. So I was hoping just to kind of start off with a question as to what it is that the board's looking for from us. Mr. Golden, the homeowner, is on the Zoom, as is Jakes Vanderwatt, also on behalf of the applicant.
All right, so basically it's a lot of housekeeping. We approved a pool with a fence with a evergreen hedge behind it and some existing trees that were a part of that situation. And then I think what happened was I was driving by looking at another application and I saw that the whole front of this property, the frontage of the property on 2 streets was filled in. And and a whole bunch of trees were cut down on the public way, and an evergreen hedge planted, which looks completely out of character to the site. I mean, the way I look at it, it looks like someone wanted to extend front yardage, something flat to play croquet or something, I'm not sure. But from the street driving by, you see an embankment with like these giant trees on top of it. So the aesthetic there is lost on us. Plus that was done without coming to this process. And the applicant is well aware of this process because we went through the whole pool thing. He's got a very unique property with the two frontages. And we worked diligently with this person to get that pool in there and to do the great improvements that he's doing with the house. That said, I asked for 1 foot contours of the site before they filled it. So I got a survey that says something like Saskis from 2017, they've added contours, but the contours somewhat halfway of what was added, the embankment that was added onto this property. So simply, it looks like the applicant has hired another landscape designer. So in the file, something June, whatever, or May, something, they both have the same date and they're 2 different designs. We can talk about those two designs if you want. That's why it's a discussion which way you want to go forward. But what we need is, we need that survey so we can make a judgment aesthetically how they're going to almost put the topography back, because it does not look good at the moment. And we can't tell that looking at an existing topography of what after they filled in the site. And some of the slopes don't make sense. And then there are no details of now that there's a new courtyard and all this good stuff. So to make it simple, we need a legit application showing the existing conditions, and then calling out what the handrail is, what you're going to see from the street, what the material of the driveway is, and you know how you're going to put we say it all the time, when you drive down a street in Sag Harbor, there should be some relation of your property to the neighborhood. It just makes for an even.
There you go.
So that's where we are. So I would love to have you present your designs and go with the one that you want to do, and then get the feedback from the board. Just supply us with legitimate documentation.
Sure. So just a question. I think you were also asking for, did I understand it right, a survey of prior conditions?
Yeah.
Before? Okay. So survey of prior condition and application. And since we're here for the discussion, would it be possible to get some feedback on what's submitted so we can get a sense of, what the board likes or doesn't like as we go forward with the application?
So it looks like there are two separate designs that have been submitted. So I'd like you to pick one and talk about it.
Dean, sorry, to request from us to present an existing contour plan of what was, because now it's filled in. So what we did was try to come up with the best to our capabilities of digging holes to the points where, the old level was, and we took heights from there. So what we presented you as an pre-existing conditions, excuse me, is what we can get at this point. I even asked the surveyor if he is able to do that, and he says he's not able to do it because it's covered with soil at the moment. So it's impossible to give you an exact existing contour plan. And there's only one design, what we want. So I don't know, somewhere
There are 2 designs in there, and there's one that wraps the property with 2 sets of retaining walls, tiered walls. And then there's not enough information. And the fact that, you filled the site and you have on the corner of Wildwood and I can't remember the other, wherever that corner is, where you're
Brandywine.
Yeah, Brandywine. You're filling in the trees like a couple feet, and you have these tiny little coffins around it. There's nothing aesthetic of what's going on. So for my problem is, it looks like you have this this embankment, you planted it and you want to keep it. And we're saying, we're saying it's not aesthetic. And you have to try hard to make this look good, because even the grades coming out of the driveway don't look good. All I need personally, the other people on this board, is this site to look good, and it doesn't look good. And what you presented doesn't look good. So if you have a design today that you want to say, hey, this is what we want to do, we can give you feedback. Everything else in the
what we want to do. We want to do a retaining wall behind the existing row of trees, which is going to be changed to clusters of different kinds of trees. So there's going to be a retaining wall behind it to slope down the grade, so that in order then the front, the big berm can go down. So we presented that to you, but obviously, I don't know. That's what we presented, and
we need to look at some plans, because we should. Yeah, I don't understand why you filled the site either, and it doesn't look that good. So I think you should bring up the plans before us, and show us. And if you shouldn't put like contours on some surveyor's plan. It from 2017. You know, it was just a backdrop. Everything should be legit.
Just a backdrop.
Can you show us your design? We're here for a discussion, to discuss your design and get board's input on how to go forward with this property.
But you don't give us any guidance, Dean, as what you want.
Where are your drawings?
Interpret to what you want, but what we present to you is you don't want that. So what do you want?
Jakes, well, it doesn't make sense. If you look at the grades, you have the drawings are not legitimate drawings. Maybe you need a designer, and you have two different designs in the file.
Get a surveyor there. It's going to 10 weeks before the surveyor can be on site. In the meantime, the client is wasting money, and plants are dying and all this kind of stuff. We need to get this process going. We can't just be wasting this time.
Hi, everybody. May I speak for a second? Hi, everybody. Hi, board. It's Ricky Golden. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Hi, guys. So just so we're clear, Dean, we hear you about the hill that's there. Just for the board to hear our side, or my side, my family's side. The soil in the front right now of the home is only the soil. We never brought in any extra soil, just so everybody knows. We only use the soil from the swimming pool.
Excuse me, wait, I gotta stop here. This design, and this is what I'd like to talk to the board about, if they like it. We have something we can sink our teeth into, and we can discuss what's going on here. And then as far as like the hill and Brandywine, I can't remember the road, at the corner. This grade should be returned back down to grade where those trees don't need like a coffin set around them. But that design looks pretty good. And I think to go forward, we ask the board how they feel about the design that you have now. And let's move forward. And Alex, if you want to meet at the site and go through this, it's pretty easy. You can see some existing trees and they can put this grade back together. But they have a very large mound on this site, which is not aesthetic.
Sorry.
If we can put that back up, sorry to trouble.
There you go.
That would be great.
This is where we got to go. We got to start from somewhere.
Jake and Alex, this is the one that you guys just emailed me this afternoon. Is this the?
Yeah, and I think I gave you a copy a while ago.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Dean, I don't know if this is the right time to say this, but the idea and the sketches were in, and they're definitely in and put in a couple of weeks ago as well, was that to reduce the size of that berm that we're all talking about, that you and I walked with, and Bethany and the team, to reduce that berm, that hill that you're saying is not attractive. On the inside, on the house side of the trees, the existing trees, we would do a retaining, an under the ground retaining wall, if you will, being able to drop those hedges down by 2 feet, thereby dropping that whole berm in half. So the trees all would drop down 2 feet and change. I think that's the number, isn't it, John? And
yes, it is. Yeah.
So we would do it on the inside. Now that just makes the lawn of the front be, safe for kids, children. We have a 4-year-old and a 9-year-old, so it's just to have a flat line. It is a very weird piece of property. We know, we get that it's on a corner. It was always I mean, it's a crazy hill there, but we're definitely want to appease the board and make the whole little neighborhood look as good, as beautiful as possible. Does that?
I have to stop you here. So this is a design that we can work with. This is a plan that we can start to work. This is what you want. So I have to take over right here. So this is something we can work with, right? So now we need some top of wall, bottom of walls to make that work. So these are my comments only. I'd like to know, as far as these trees along Brandywine Drive, are they indigenous trees, or are they working with the streetscape? It looks like they would. The trees on Wildwood, the existing ones, Wildwood and Brandywine Drive, it'd be really nice to see, in my opinion, the grade go back to where it was with these trees and their root flare and the feeder roots there, or, you could really push that grade back so you can have a transition between, I guess, the height that you want and what's really existing at the street. Now, a green giant or whatever you have tons of them there, dropping them 2 feet doesn't really make a big difference, but there is a grade to the street. So if you're going to play with a retaining wall behind that, and so those trees, all your trees, and it looks like you're planting street trees on the village property, you may have addressed that with the highway department. But you should maintain that grade when you drive down Brandywine or drive up it, that we don't feel like there's some big barge going down the East River. This looks like a design that we can work with. It would be nice to see, when you're driving up and you see on Brandywine, this parking area, what those details are. What are we going to see from the street? What is that retaining wall? Is it railroad tie? Is it aesthetic? And we can ask the board how they feel about it. But I think you putting these grades, making an attempt to put some of these grades back that work with the transition between the easement and your property would be super helpful. And with that, I'm happy to go through the board and ask their question, ask them for their comments.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bethany.
Well, I think it is an improvement. Of course, I need more, like Dean said, identifying of what you're planting. And, I'm not like, I hear what everybody's saying. I mean, I see, it looks like the wall, right? That the wall is just in the right-hand corner coming down. It says retaining wall, right? But then it ends. It comes down and then it ends. I don't see it along Brandywine Drive.
There's a different, sorry.
And I thought that, I'm sorry, I thought that's where the wall would be. But whatever, again, I would need the plants identified. And
okay, so Bethany, that's wonderful. You think that as a whole, as a composition, this is something that you could sink your teeth into, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Val, what do you, aesthetically, is this plan much better than what we've seen before? Or is this something that they can have a way forward to work out the details?
Yeah, I think to answer your question, it's a nice departure from what was there. If I recall, wasn't this the property that there was just row after row of Christmas tree?
Yes.
On top of a mound?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that this looks much more organic and less contrived and less like it literally looked like a Christmas tree stand. That's how, the soldier coursing of the trees was bothersome visually. And this is a welcome improvement. I think you're on the right pathway in resolving the planting issue here.
Judith?
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell just from this drawing, but anything's better than rows and rows of trees up on berms. So getting better.
Bob is out of this conversation because he's the neighbor. So I think, I think it's a great design. It's just a matter of fleshing it out, and I think really working with some sort of meeting of the ways of what you want it as a front yard and the grade from the street, and working with the existing trees that are there, opposed to putting them in these. I think a nice transition would work, and I think you have a favorable direction from the board, so I'd run with this, and we can't wait to see the detailed sheets.
Good.
Okay, very good.
What we will do, Dean, is we'll combine this with one of the previous drawings, which shows the retaining wall behind the front Brandywine side trees. So what we'll do is sort of combine the two drawings and try and present you with something that makes more sense.
Yeah, I could be, this design, I think you really got something going on here, and a real sticking point for me is that corner of Wildwood and Brandywine, and how you soften that transition, and you put the soil back at where the proper location with those existing trees, and I think,
Are you saying you want to drop that grade all the way back down to where it was?
or you could take that retaining wall that you're talking about, and it could mimic the property line, trajectory there. It's somehow, and work with, what's there, opposed to, it's just driving down the street and you have an abrupt composition here, and that's all. I think you have something.
Thank you. I think we're making progress.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Dean. Thanks, board. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
165 Madison Street, please.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for taking the time. I'm Greg Cajun with TAS, representing Sunny Stafford on this project here. This is a fairly simple project, we feel, cut and dry. We just want to clean up the house. The existing wooden shutters are deteriorated and falling apart at the sash lines, and the paint is slowly kind of deteriorating. So we would like to replace the shutters in kind with, although we'd like to change the color of them from black to a, what we call it, the Hearthstone gray. It's a little bit lighter gray. Across the street are some examples of the same color. And then we like to clean up the painting of the house using a Chantilly lace, very comparable to what's actually there. It's a slightly off white color. Again, not too bright or stark to match anything else. The only other thing that we're looking at in the application here that we'd like to consider is currently, we like to find these things interesting sometimes. The front door is not centered on the ridge, and it's really a minor 6-inch move to just shift the existing door just over to give it a little bit more street feel. And that was the real intent to the request, the porch and all the things.
I'll just jump in quickly. Do you have photos, number one? And number two, just before we get too far along, I'd like to ask Zach for some comments.
Yeah, I don't understand any reasoning behind moving the door.
Okay.
Do we have a photograph, Carrie, of this house?
There is, page 6.
Are you going to share, or do you want me to?
If you have it available, you can. I can, let me screen share it. I'll share.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone can see this here?
Yes.
So if you can see the red trajectory line, the door just happens to be slightly off center. It was something that we've been talking about as something interesting. We would like to center it back on, if plausible. If this is detrimental to the project, obviously we're not, but we do feel it would bring a lot more curb appeal and consistency to the project.
So this is a great time to just break into our historian's overview of this particular site, and then we can go forward.
Perfect.
Well, all I can say is that generally, we modern people bring a contemporary sensibility to what is symmetrical and all the rest of it. All I can tell you is the only way to determine whether someone has previously shifted that door over by 6 inches or whether it was built that way, that this is something that can be determined on site. I understand that everything else about the front facade is symmetrical in terms of its fenestration, and it may strike us as being a little odd that the door is off. Frankly, those of us who love old houses kind of enjoy those details. So in and of itself, if it's simply a question of we want to move it 6 inches to make it all symmetrical, I don't understand the rationale for that.
Understood. Understood.
I think we just need to look at it.
Yeah.
I'm fretting over this constant business of these paired lighting fixtures at every doorway. Is there a lack of light there, or what's the story there? Because
the existing fixture is a dimly lit fixture. However, as time has gone on, the client has been there for a while. We agreed that moving the door is not necessary. So doesn't need to be. However, since it was in this application, I had to bring it up just for whoever understood context. So that being said,
Zach, what happened with this front door? Was it a late night, the night before, and the carpenters like missed the framing? What happened?
I guess so, or it may have been wider and they narrowed it, but they narrowed it to one side or the other. I mean, there are any number of cockeyed reasons. But I mean, I kind of enjoy it that way.
We'll call it exclusive, intricate.
It's not the location of it, correct, Zach? It's not the location of the door.
No, it's just that it's slightly out of center.
We thought the middle window was off for a bit. We took us a little bit, but either way, again, it's just something that is now.
It does it not have anything to do with when you open the door that the little stairway is right to the left?
To the right?
No.
The stairway's to the left, just a little bit, right?
It's a smidge, but no, it's actually off center of that too. You're right. You're absolutely right. If you probably went back, this might have been a wider door at one point. Maybe it was a Dutch door or something, and it got infilled. But again, this isn't something that we want to stick on.
Okay.
Because the time that
it's just interesting. That's all. It's just interesting.
It is interesting. Yep, it's interesting. Yep. Okay.
Beyond that, I think our application is fairly straightforward, cut and dry. The colors are in continuity with the area, and would like to know your input.
What do you want to do here?
Well, they have to come back with their discussion now, but they'll have to come back. But let's get some comments. So, Judith.
Well, I'd like to know what the story is on the door. If you can do some sort of forensics on the door.
If you push us past the next meeting, I'll dig into this for you.
Okay. And I also wanted to know that you had some specifications, I think, about shutter hardware.
Yep.
And I just wanted to make sure that your shutter hardware wasn't too elaborate.
No, we're going with fairly traditional.
It looks fairly, it looks fairly calm. I mean, there's some people around town who are putting on these absolutely garish hardware on their shutters, but this looks okay.
I'm trying to keep it like almost like a carriage house, original kind of a horse hitching barn kind of thing. Really simple. These things are small, and a couple lock sets.
Great.
Val Florio?
I'm good with it. I actually like the little quirk. It's one of those old house things, but yeah.
Now you're reassured, everyone.
No, they're probably, like he said, it was an afterthought, or someone was drinking.
Something happened.
Someone was drinking a little too much beer on the job that day, but yeah.
Bob, comments?
I think it's pretty good. Now, are they going to use the lights on as proposed?
No, we're going to leave the existing light fixture where it is.
Okay.
We're not going to add the double light fixture on.
It looks good.
Great. And I think we hit everywhere. Bethany.
Bethany. There's not much to really talk about until we actually have it as a proposal, right? This is just discussion.
So
and it's
we're ready.
basically the most discussion was about the door, so we're good to go now, I would think.
We're ready for real drawings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Thank you, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, very, very clear presentation. Thank you.
Yes.
Yep, that was good.
Okay.
Sonny, do you want to mention anything?
Oh, hi. I'm just the homeowner. Just a question on the door. If we take that out of consideration, can that just be done? And we'll just appreciate the quirk and no further discussion on that. Will there be an issue with the project?
No, I think it's clear cut. We just need you need to be on new business and whatever clarifications you need to make on this drawing, like i.e. taking those lights out, whatever you have to do. But I think you have a favorable response from the board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just so you know, there's a 7-day before the meeting to submit your documents, and the next meeting is the 24th. So we would need it by next Thursday.
This coming Thursday, okay, that's.
Yes. A week from today.
Yep, we'll do it, not a problem.
Thank you.
In which case, that drawing that we're looking at needs to be changed, because
Correct.
that's what's going to get built. too.
Correct, 100%. That was why I
Fine.
brought it up, 100%.
Got it. Okay.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Everyone, thank you for this time tonight. Be safe and talk to you soon.
19 Walker Avenue.
They have adjourned for tonight.
Sit down.
I guess I'll just say for the record, they have existing trees, they have existing contours. They can give us a contour plan and let us know what the existing trees to remain. I mean, we're really close. You know, just a little more information would be super helpful.
So will that be a discussion again? Yes?
No, they should.
No,
if
that's
they-
why they're not here tonight, because they do not want it as a discussion. They're going to get the documents that Dina's asked.
Okay.
Right, we don't know if they're gonna take a bulldozer and plow the whole thing down or not, and with that plan, we know, and then we can make a call. But I think he's got something going on, it's just, we just need. Okay,
All right. We have a motion to adjourn?
oh my God, you just jump out there like that and say that now?
Yep.
I'll make that a motion to adjourn this meeting. Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
That was myself and Bob. Thank you very
Very
much,
good.
everyone.
Bob has been Mr. Seconder tonight.